Machiavelli's The Prince, Political Philosophy in Renaissance Italy. Machiavelli's The Prince, Political Philosophy in Renaissance Italy. Introduction. Niccolò Machiavelli's The Prince is one of the most influential works of political philosophy in Western history. Written in the early 16th century, during the Italian Renaissance, the book explores the nature of power, politics, and leadership. The Prince offers astute observations on the challenges rulers face and provides practical guidance on how to acquire and maintain political power. In this article, we will delve into the key themes and ideas put forth by Machiavelli in The Prince, highlighting its relevance in the context of Renaissance Italy and beyond. Machiavelli and the political landscape of Renaissance Italy. To comprehend the significance of The Prince, it is essential to understand the political milieu of Renaissance Italy. The Italian city-states of the time were often embroiled in conflict, both among themselves and with external forces. With shifting alliances, constant power struggles, and the rise and fall of ruling families, Italy was a tumultuous and highly competitive environment. Machiavelli, an experienced diplomat and political thinker, wrote The Prince as a response to the volatile political climate. His observations were influenced by his own experiences, particularly his assignment by the Florentine Republic to deal with external threats and engage in diplomatic negotiations. Machiavelli's work reflects a pragmatic approach to politics, focusing on the realities of power rather than abstract ideals of morality or justice. The concept of political power. At the core of The Prince lies Machiavelli's exploration of the concept of power. He contends that all rulers face a central dilemma: they must find ways to acquire and maintain power in order to govern effectively. According to Machiavelli, power stems from a combination of skill, opportunity, and cunning. He emphasizes the ingenuity and adaptability that leaders must possess in order to navigate the complexities of politics. Machiavelli outlined several avenues for acquiring power, including hereditary succession, conquest, and election. Machiavelli also explores the role of fortune in political success, arguing that skilled rulers can manipulate fortune to their advantage. The immoral nature of politics. One of the most controversial aspects of The Prince is Machiavelli's assertion that rulers should be willing to set aside traditional notions of morality for the sake of political expediency. He argues that political success often demands actions that would otherwise be considered morally reprehensible. Machiavelli famously states, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." According to Machiavelli, rulers must be pragmatic and willing to employ deceit, manipulation, and even violence when necessary. He suggests that conquering territories and maintaining control requires making difficult decisions that may be at odds with conventional notions of ethics. Machiavelli firmly believes that the end justifies the means, emphasizing the need for rulers to prioritize the stability and welfare of the state over personal virtues. Leadership and popular consent. In The Prince, Machiavelli discusses the delicate balance between a ruler and their subjects. He argues that rulers should maintain the appearance of virtue while being willing to act in ways that protect and consolidate their power. However, Machiavelli also recognizes the importance of winning the support and consent of the governed. Machiavelli advises leaders to be aware of public opinion and to avoid excessive displays of either generosity or cruelty. He highlights the risks of being perceived as cruel and argues that rulers should strive to project an image of strength, wisdom, and justice. While he acknowledges that appearing virtuous can be advantageous, he also stresses that leaders must be prepared to take decisive, even ruthless actions when necessary. Legacy and influence. The Prince caused a great deal of controversy when it was first published, as it challenged the prevailing notions of political morality. It was seen as a departure from traditional political philosophy, which emphasized moral virtue and ethical conduct. Some critics accused Machiavelli of advocating for tyranny and deceit. However, numerous scholars argue that The Prince should be read as a descriptive rather than prescriptive work, offering practical insights into politics as it is, rather than as it ought to be. Over time, The Prince became regarded as a seminal text in political theory, inspiring subsequent generations of political thinkers. Its influence has been felt in various spheres, including military strategy, diplomacy, and governance. The Prince remains relevant today, as many of Machiavelli's observations continue to shed light on the complexities of leadership and power dynamics. The themes and ideas presented in Machiavelli's The Prince have been the subject of much discussion and debate since its publication in the early 16th century. The book, which delves into the nature of power, politics, and leadership, continues to hold relevance in the context of Renaissance Italy and beyond. During the Italian Renaissance, the political landscape was characterized by constant conflict, shifting alliances, and power struggles among the city-states. Machiavelli, drawing from his own experiences as a diplomat and political thinker, wrote The Prince as a pragmatic response to this volatile climate. He focused on the realities of power rather than abstract ideals of morality or justice. At the core of The Prince is Machiavelli's exploration of the concept of power. He argues that rulers must find ways to acquire and maintain power in order to govern effectively. Machiavelli emphasizes the importance of skill, opportunity, and cunning in gaining power. He also acknowledges the role of luck and circumstance, but maintains that virtuous qualities such as prowess, intelligence, and the ability to inspire loyalty are crucial for successful leadership. One of the most controversial aspects of The Prince is Machiavelli's assertion that rulers should be willing to set aside traditional morality for political expediency. He argues that political success often requires actions that may be considered morally reprehensible. Machiavelli famously states, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." He emphasizes the need for rulers to prioritize the stability and welfare of the state over personal virtues. Machiavelli also explores the delicate balance between a ruler and their subjects. He advises leaders to maintain the appearance of virtue while being willing to act in ways that protect and consolidate their power. Machiavelli urges rulers to be aware of public opinion and to avoid excessive displays of generosity or cruelty. He encourages leaders to project an image of strength, wisdom, and justice while being prepared to take decisive actions when necessary.